Hey everyone, my name is Rick St. John. My wife and I own Castle Rock Burgers here in Crofton, Nebraska, and also on the island of Mindanao in Iligan City in the Philippines. I want to talk to you just briefly today about being an entrepreneur and the adventure and the fun that can be. First of all, I've been a little background on myself. I've been self-employed since I was 21 years old. One of my first businesses I started back in when I was in North Carolina, and is actually the second business. I had an auto detail business. It was the very first business I ever had, and I started that business in Florida when I lived in Florida, and I moved it up to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I had that business for about 2 years, and it did okay, but it really wasn't my passion. It was really, at that time, it was just something I could do to make money, but it wasn't my passion. So in 1993, I started a structured cabling business in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I started installing low voltage cabling for Ethernet, phone systems, Meridian key systems, and different things like that, setting up computer rooms and phone rooms. Working in IDF rooms, different things like that. So my clients back then were Nextel Communications, Cellular One, which eventually became Verizon. Of course, Nextel today is Sprint, owned by Sprint. And I had Wake Medical Center, Stone Heavy Duty, Family Health International, different companies like that. My home base was Raleigh, North Carolina, but I worked as far as Memphis, Tennessee, and from Newport News, Virginia to Louisiana. And I did a lot of traveling with that business and absolutely loved it. Saw a lot of the United States and found that to be fantastic. So when you work for yourself, that's one of the things that can be, really the upside is you get to travel in certain businesses, but most of all, when you work for yourself, you get to live out your vision for what customer service, what you believe customer service should be, and that's something that I found really very gratifying. Is going out to a customer's site, people who didn't have dial tone on their phones back then, or they didn't have computer working, and I'd be able to go out, troubleshoot it, repair it, and have it working, and their business was up and running. I found that to be very gratifying. So in 2002, I put my business up for sale, and I sold it. I also had and I'm going to back up here a second. Before I sold my communications company, I had a first aid company, and I started that business from the ground up. It was just an idea to sell first aid supplies online, and I started that business in 1998. I started building websites and doing my own search engine optimization back then. It was a drop ship company, and I started that business in 1998, and in 2002 I sold the business for a significant amount of money, and the people who bought it were Filipinos. They lived in Reston, Virginia, and they wanted to move the business to the Philippines. So that's how I got to the Philippines. I flew over, helped to set the business up, spent about a year flying back and forth, and during that time I met my wife, Jane, who is today my business partner. We've worked together ever since we met, since 2003. We've worked together, and it's been fantastic. I can't think of anything better than to be able to work with your spouse and be able to build a business from the ground up. So when I was in the Philippines, we started a travel agency, a tour company, a website design company, and 2 restaurants, Pizza Freaks and Castle Rock Burgers. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Castle Rock Burgers, and I've only got about 15 minutes, so I got to watch my time here. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, I'll just go over some brief things that you're going to want to do. First of all, you're going to want to find a business that's a niche business, something that is unique, that doesn't really exist, or if it does, you put a different spin on it. You breathe new life into some type of existing product or business. You're going to want to get a logo, a professional logo. That's very important that your business, from the very beginning, look professional. Don't try to save money and say, well, I'll just do it myself. Hire a professional to come in and do that. You're going to want to have a website, and I would say, for me, when I come up with a business, that's one of the first things I do. I put up a website, and I start getting information on it. Trademark your name, very important. It would be a shame to start your business and get that going, and 2-3 years down the road you find out that somebody else has your name, and now you have to try to rebrand your company, and you've already been selling to hundreds and maybe thousands of people at that point. Second, the business plan. Super important. If you don't have a plan, a business plan out, then that's already a plan to fail. And I know you'll hear that cliche throughout your life, but it's really true. A business plan is a roadmap to success. It's directions, and that's really important. It helps keep you focused. When you start to get a little bit off focus, you can go back to your business plan and say, okay, what is it that we really wanted to do, and how did we want to do that? And you can go back to your business plan and get back on track. A lot of people, when they start a business, they don't have a business plan, and that's like jumping off of a cliff and hollering, I'll build my wings on the way down. It's not the way you want to go, okay? So your business plan, just to name a few things, should have the concept of the business, costing, pricing that you're going to sell it for. So what will it cost you to make your product, and what are you selling it for? What's your profit margin? List different competitors that do a similar type business, and give yourself a 1 to 5 year projection. And there's a lot of other stuff you want to put in that business plan, but those are just some highlights that are really important. Again, the business plan is critical to your success. It's a roadmap. Number 3, setting up a company. You're going to want to decide from the very beginning, do you want to be a sole proprietor, an LLC, or an S corporation? I would say to any entrepreneur in your first year in business, you'd probably want to stay a sole proprietor. That's fine during your first year. And then after that first year, if you're making money and you like what you're doing, you have choices then to become an LLC or an S corp. And regardless of what you choose, make sure that you have a professional help you set that up and guide you through that process. You can do some of these things yourself, but the time that it takes, my time is money, worth money. So I seek out the advice of professionals to help me get to where I want to go. Also, with setting up a company, you need to make a decision. Are you going to self-fund, borrow from the bank, or have investors? Let's talk about investors. If you're going to have investors investing in your company, then you're going to have them sitting on a board, and they're going to help you make decisions. There's nothing wrong with that. Amazon is one company, Microsoft is another, and there's millions of companies out there that do that. It's just one option. If you're going to borrow from the bank, the bank is going to want to see a business plan on how you're going to pay that money back. If you're self-funding, you still need a business plan, because again, it's a roadmap to success. I'm going to repeat it again. Without a business plan, without a clear direction from where you're starting and where you want to be, it's literally like jumping off of a cliff and shouting, I'll build my wings on the way down. It's really not the way to start a business. The fourth thing is location. There's a lot of different options for you in business. Regardless of what your business is, do you want to be in a mall, a standalone business, a small strip mall? If you're going to be in a mall, remember you may have to give up a percentage of your profits. And that's something that you'll have to make a decision on. I choose not to do that. I want a standalone business. I want something that belongs to me. That's another thing. Decide if you're going to rent or own. If you have the option to own the business, that's what I choose to do. I do not want to start a business if I can't own it, My reasoning behind that is I want to be in control of my destiny. Meaning, if I'm doing good after 5 years in business, I don't want someone coming up to me and saying, listen, I'm going to have to raise your rent, 15%. That 15%, the minute they say that, comes off your bottom line. That's your profit. That's cutting into your profit. And you may not be able to go to your customers and say, I'm going to have to raise my prices. If the economy isn't doing well at that point, or is in a recession, people aren't going to spend money, and you're going to find it difficult to raise the prices. So if you own something, you can set your prices. Your rent or your mortgage is what it is, and that's all you need to focus on. A lot less stress. The fifth thing is store build-out cost. Store build-out cost is expensive. So look for a building in a location that's as close to what you need. Again, the least amount of money that you have to spend, the better off for you. I have to again watch my time here. I'm standing inside a trailer that I just bought for Castle Rock Burgers. And the reason that I did this, again, I want to control my destiny. I want to be able to go where the money is. It's very difficult to get people to come to you, and I learned that through this pandemic. A lot of people don't want to travel too far from home. They like to stay sort of in their safe zone, their small town or their area that they're familiar with. And so by having a trailer, I'm able to take this to where the people are and to where the money is. And that'll work for all types of situations. So again, it allows me to be in control of my destiny. If I can say anything to you as an entrepreneur, try to think of a way for you to minimize any type of marketing that you have to do to your clients. Okay, all my marketing is done through natural search engines. I don't pay for marketing in any way, shape, or form. I use social networks, I use websites, and I do my own search engine optimization. You can buy books on how to do that. It's not difficult, takes a little bit of time, but believe me, it's well worth it. So again, as an entrepreneur, I would like to say to each and every one of you, it's a fantastic journey. I would not choose to do anything differently. I like being able to live out my vision and take something from an idea or a simple concept and turn it into something, and I'm standing inside that today. So Castle Rock Burgers in 2014 was just an idea, and we decided to put a new twist on something that's been around for many years, and we took a burger and we started putting different toppings on it and doing different things with it, and we found that people really enjoyed that and they liked that. They wanted something different. So again, it can be something simple. It doesn't have to be something complicated. And again, look for a business that you can control your destiny with. So that's what I'd like to offer each of you today. I hope you get something from this. And if you have any questions, you can always let your teachers know, and I'll try to answer them the best that I can. Thank you.